So I'm right here on University of Louisville's campus. Yeah, so this right here is the Louisville skyline.
Pretty much the west loop of downtown Chicago.
I'm a barber. I'm a barbershop owner. I'm a barber school owner and instructor as well.
They did all right. I just knew I didn't want to do what my dad did and go work in a factory and kind of wither away in a way. Right. So I wanted to find something that was a little bit more independent. It was just a place I always hung out at when I was young, and I always had good experiences there. Kind of feels like being a teacher or like a psychologist. It's stuff that I'm interested in, but just didn't take the college route.
I got into being a barber, coming up from a single parent home, just kind of wanting to, lighten the load on my mother and just want to, cut my own hair. Just intrigued by being around barbers, being young, growing up in barbershop and getting that experience. One of the best things my mother told me that, son, hey, college is for everybody. Maybe find something you love to do. It may have been one of the single best decisions I ever made in my life. I always tell my students I never thought I would be a barber. That was like, something I never envisioned, for my life. But it chose me,
I first wanted to start cutting when I was 8. I used to go to the barber shop. My neighbor, Mr. James, he had a shop, him and his son. He could never cut my hair right. So that's what motivated me to want to start cutting hair. I started cutting my own teddy bears at the house. They got hooked up too. So I'm mobile. The service I offer is to disabled veterans, pastors, I can say business people. And just some people, especially during the pandemic, some of them are not ready to go back to a shop.
Literally in the middle of 20,000 beds. So and it's all new rotating faces. So me being over here for the amount of time that I had, I've seen people graduate, whatnot.
Blacks, whites, Asians, Latinos, a good 30% of them were either white or Latino coming in.
I have countless stories, and I'm gonna tell you what's funny about this project. Every time I get a phone call from Darnell, and they're checking on me, we check on each other, so they're checking on me. It's funny how some would have just happened. One of my clients, take their life, or they just got killed, and they'll call me and, checking on me. Hey, how you doing? I'm just calling, just check up just to see how you doing, and and I'd be like, you know what? Hey, I don't know what it is, but yeah, I did need this phone call. You know what I mean? It's like I say, sometimes you almost get numb to it. It also wakes something up in me to want to do something about it. Not only financially, because if you're losing clients at fast rates, that's our money too. But also, with our, mental, how are we handling that mentally, and how do we keep from taking it home? The Confess Project really opened my eyes, or really gave me kind of an outlet, deal with like-minded individuals that see and go through some of the same issues that I'm, as an owner, pretty impoverished community, that, the daily things that we have to deal with. The Confess Project gives me an outlet to be able to discuss those things and get, input that can help me.
My mom had, I wouldn't say she caused a mental illness, but she has a chemical imbalance where I guess her body doesn't produce serotonin. So when you grow up with somebody like that, and you see, a change in people like this and that, it's like you seem to like, man, I can see when somebody is feeling a certain way when they're not acting like themselves. So when the owner who the shop I was with, the key, told us, hey, let's go to this training. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Plus, I wasn't doing nothing that day, so
why not?
Why not?
Well, they enjoy it. And actually, like a church I used to go to, a pastor, he was like, man, that's something you ought to do. I said, it's something I already do now. A lot of people don't like getting out, going places, especially to a shop. Find out a lot of people who refer me to different people may have cancer, they're going through chemo, so they don't really want to get out, be seen in public because their hair may look a certain way. And they're also dealing with depression. By us talking and Next thing you know, next time I get by there, after a couple times they get comfortable, it's like I almost become a family. So after so long, Christmas time, I'm getting a Christmas gift. I'm getting called, hey bro, I went out last week, we went to dinner. This happened. I met a young lady, man, where you at? I want to set an appointment. I just called you over, really, just to talk this time. I'm like, oh man, okay, wow, that's good, okay. Like I wasn't expecting that.
Just the connection you can build with people. Like I really do want to take care of my clients. Oftentimes you'll hear a customer get up and I feel lighter. And I mean, yeah, because we physically knock off some hair, so it might be thinner, but like it is something about that. Even if there is no conversation to be had, just that feeling of somebody caring for you is being catered to. Being manicured, it gives you a positive feeling to where the stresses of the day aren't as heavy. Because at least I look damn good. So.
It almost becomes like a family member. That bond, from client and barber. I have clients that, I've been cutting over, 15, 20 years. That bond is impenetrable. You know what I mean? I had a client, he passed away as well. But he was just a good client, would check on my mental health.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Not so often do you get a client that would check on their barber. Have you eaten today? As barber, sometimes, we might go in and not even get lunch break,
right.
12 hours and we don't eat. But when you get a client, have you eaten today? They care about my well-being. Just stop in and take time out their day and just, hey, I was just stopping through. And you get, you start looking for that. Yeah, when I lost him, it hurt. Stay around positive-minded people. I don't have to take that, home with me. Finding, having a place where you can be, to yourself and have some serenity so that you can think and be able to develop a plan. If there's chaos, you really can't think, like you need to be able to make the right decisions at the right time. A lot of times when people ride with, I don't listen, I don't turn the radio on. That's my time when I'm driving to process.
There are red flags, especially as somebody that I'm used to working with.
Right.
If they're not, if their tone is different, or maybe there's something that they've been talking about over time, and they kind of let the boiling point. Those are just the types of things that I'll listen for. But it's all about just getting to know people. Some people don't really say anything; they just want to be taken care of. One day they might just unleash. They let you know that, hey, today's been shit.
I don't think people realize, but when you get a haircut, or when you get anything groomed with you, it makes you feel better. And that ties into mental health. When people couldn't get their haircut or hair done for a few months, that weight, especially when you've been in a house and all they want to do is just go out just to make themselves feel better, it takes a toll on you mentally. It really does. Like that's essential.
I met a young man and he was angry and mean, kind of just like for no reason. We hit it off through a joke. I told him I was from Nigeria, and he had took off his cap, and his hair was kind of nappy. I was like, you know what? You may be from somewhere else too, where they don't have combs or somewhere. And then later on, we thought about it. He said, "Man, this guy said my hair was nappy." And so he said, and then later on, he just told me, he was taught to be mean and not worry about things. And, it caused people to cause him to run people off. We fell out for a little while when he called me back. He said he thought about it. He apologized. He said we should have been apologized, but he said he's not used to people having friends and people to really, really talk to like that. I think the last couple of months, man, our conversations have been totally different. I said, man, you're a different guy. He went to his closet, brought out suit coats, sports coats, dress shoes, everything. I was like, man, you changed your whole wardrobe, demeanor, and everything. He's like, man, yeah. I mean, it's like, he said, you became more than a barber, you became a mentor. I was like, hey, I wasn't trying to be all that, but I appreciate it.
mostly gang violence. A lot of those situations are guys who, I wouldn't say they want to join gangs and want to be in that particular realm, but you can tell about like the situations that they get themselves into. That is like I pretty much try to steer them away from that, because we know once you get in the system, and once you start going down the wrong path, that's over with. Like, it don't take like one arrest again, especially if you're still living in a neighborhood that's bad. You're going to just continue to go down that same path, that same cycle. They trust us. They trust us. They trust us more than they spouses. Let's just be honest. They talk. They confide in us more than they would confide in their partners. So since they have that trust in us, it's pretty much like our word is like it's like pretty much top tier. Yeah, they can stop anything. They can honestly, if they wanted to, just like here, they can put a truce between two feuding groups. They can stop a feud between two opposing groups if they wanted to. Because most of the time, if you work in a good shop, it's a neutral zone. It's supposed to be a neutral zone. So it's we're very influential in something like that.
I'm not your old professor or anybody. Like, I'm just this regular dude out in the community. Like, especially my son's over there asleep. Like, you see my kid. Like, I'm a regular dude. Like, I'm a super regular dude. So ain't no judgment to be had.
One thing about being a barber, we're in the community and we're like on the front line. When, stuff happens in our community, we hear about it, we see it first, and it most likely it affects us. I was talking to somebody yesterday, we were talking about COVID, and I was like, well, really, as a barber, I've been in a pandemic before the COVID came, with, losing clients and, in the community, gun violence. As barbers, I had to call some of my other barbers and ask them, like, hey, are you experiencing the loss, of clients, due to violence and, at the same rate maybe that I am, because it's almost unbelievable sometimes. As barbers, we get used to seeing people and, one day you see them and the next day they're gone. To know that other barbers are witnessing the same thing and going and experiencing the same thing. It was a pandemic before the pandemic.
The pandemic before the pandemic is just, I guess, violence in the community that there was going on, and this impacted you at a business level, but even more deeply at a personal level, because you're getting to know these customers for years.
It's always on the map or in the news or in the headlines with something dealing with something. I don't know if you've heard it, but we just recently had a cop who just got killed.
Wow.
I want to say like 3 weeks ago. She had just got back from maternity leave and just doing a regular traffic stop, and 2 young guys, I think it was like 18 and 19 or something like that. The hard part is doing what we do. Still trying to make it, just like with your study. That's hard. It's easy to go get a gun and go rob somebody or kill somebody. That's sadly, but it's easy. But the hard part is stuff that we do. Keep going what we're doing. Me being a family guy, that's easy. So I always try to steer them away from that type of stuff.
As barbers, we are charged to doing a client consultation. That's our chance to get information. It's lifestyle. Most of the time, your lifestyle contributes to what kind of, clothing you wear, what kind of style you in. Our job is to listen to their client and kind of understand and kind of know. Because most of the time, we can tell a client what he wants before he can. And that's the observation, just off listening to their client. I always tell my clients, it's ask, verify, and repeat. With questions. We verify those questions and we repeat it again to make sure that we're on the same communication level and we understand each other, because verbiage, changes from place to place. So listening is very, very important in that you got to be able to listen. I had a client come in, he was talking to me, but I'm busy, I'm running the school, I'm here, I'm there. He was talking to me and I was listening because he was always a joking kind of guy. As he was talking to me, he was talking about a situation he was going through. I was missing the cues. I was listening, but I was missing the severity. He left the barbershop and he was dead in 10 minutes. He was trying to tell me, what was going on. And maybe whatever happened, hey, this was happened to me, we have to know what trigger words or what, cues are happening when somebody's speaking. The barbershop is usually, it's usually the last stop, before a lot of people, lose their life.
Wow.
For some reason, I don't know why. I can't tell you why. But like I say, I've seen it too many times. To being murdered, to you name it. We are the therapists. We are not licensed practitioners. We don't ask for it, but it comes with the job. It comes with the job, absolutely. I don't know a barber that can tell you different. One time I had a student to come in, and usually he was a great student. I always, lively, had good things to say, and, just a good student. But this particular day, he was at everybody's neck, and he was just noticeably out of line. What I did was I took him to the side, away from all other students. And when I got him back there, he broke down crying. Now, on the floor in front of everybody, he was trying to fight. He was irate, uncontrollable. But when I just took him to the side, and talked to him, he broke down. And everything that was going on in his life, he was able to tell me. And I understood, and I had empathy for it. Because it's like every day you come to work, you never know what you're going to encounter. And I think that's kind of one of the risks that I like about, my job. There we go. So that's my
fades on 4th.
From windows. Yep.
Oh, that's cool.